Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt, also known as the Ammo Nerd, and we have an ammunition review today in my favorite caliber, 5.56 NATO, or 5.56 by 45 millimeters, or also commonly known sometimes as 223 Remington, although there usually is a pressure difference between the two. This is from GGG. It's Lithuanian M193. In full transparency, True Shot Gun Club sent over a lot of this for us to demo with no strings attached. Let's throw this guy on the table and talk about what we're going to do today. Now, I do want to mention that I have an affiliate set up with True Shot, and that means that if I have any links that I post, there is a tracking cookie in there, and that earns me a sales commission, and it costs you nothing. And what I do with all that is I put it right back in the channel by buying different barrel lengths or guns to complete some of our testing. For our 5.56 NATO, we have a wide array of barrel lengths afforded to us from 7.5 inches all the way up to and including 22. I've thought about getting a 24, but we haven't quite pulled the trigger on that. After we've collected our velocity figures and just a general reliability, we're going to step out to around 100 yards with possibly a couple different barrel lengths to see what kind of practical accuracy we can get with this. This box says that it is M193, and the spec on the flap says the meters a second is 1015, and that translates to 3,300 feet per second. I'm assuming which is out of a 20-inch barrel, so we're going to see if we can meet that spec velocity. It's around 75 to 80 degrees outside today. We start all our tests off with our shortest barrel length. This is our 7.5-inch upper. It's a Palmetto State Armory build. They have been a huge support to the channel. I buy a lot of random uppers from them, mainly because they have a wide variety of barrel lengths, and that's what I can afford. We are running the Garmin Zero C1 side by side with the light screen chronograph. A big thank you to Cabela's for sending that over. It's interesting how this particular device shows velocities anywhere sometimes from right on to upwards of 100 feet per second faster than what the light screen chronographs are recording. So I've been running them side by side to kind of see what that difference is. So that registered 2313. The only downside so far to the Garmin is that you do have to shoot a slower pace so that it can analyze the shot and spit it back, and if you are not slow enough, it won't pick up the next shot. So I think we had 14 out of this recorded versus 15. Final shot, 2218. Up is our 10.5-inch M85 Pap. One of my followers wanted to see this in action, so we figured we'd get it out. I don't shoot it a whole lot, mainly because it will throw brass all the way over there in the woods, and it doesn't have any kind of optic on it, so the sights are kind of craptacular. Holy muzzle flash, Batman. That ending velocity was 2587 on the Garmin. Next up is our 14.5-inch upper. This is from Pro 2A Tactical. Been reviewing this for quite some time. Very solid upper. I would say it is on par, if not better, than our Palmetto State Armory. Ooh, Average of 3,000 feet per second, not too shabby, GGG. Deacon wanted to see if we gain any velocity from shooting suppressed, so we've added the Turbo T3 to the 14.5 inch. Now for our 16 inch, this is a new acquisition from Pickett's Mill Armory. They sent this over in full transparency for us to review and kind of see how it compares to the PSA guns and other ARs that I have. I can say from an initial, quality overview, I like that all the anodizing is matched. They've got some nice components on here, so we'll see how it runs. And finally, our 20 inch, this is the FN double chrome lined 1-in-7 twist from PSA. Average of 3240 from our 20 inch. We'll have to see what the ProChronoPal Chrono says velocity wise, but that meets our spec. Very, very warm so far. Nice. And finally, our Armor Slayer. This is our 22 inch TC Compass. This has a 1-in-9 twist barrel. I'd like to find a bolt gun with a 1-in-7 with a 22 or 24 inch barrel. There you all have it. Velocity on the Garmin average 3216. The standard deviation was a little high at 44. Didn't meet the control lots, which were a little faster on the same day, but I do feel that velocity wise we are meeting spec, and that's a good thing. Here is our GGG 55 grain full metal jacket M193 at 100 yards. Using the 22 inch TC Compass, has an 18 power first focal plane scope on it. We're shooting from a bench, but not in a lead sled today, just off of the bipod and using my hand as a squeeze bag, so to say. We have the Turbo T3 on there, 1.7 inches, not too shabby. And the second group opened up, I might have pulled that one there, 3.236 inches. We have enough of this ammunition that we'll shoot again in the lead sled, and we'll also shoot from a 16 inch that we just picked up and see what that does. But not too shabby. That 1.7 inches is pretty darn good, if I do say so myself. Around 70 degrees outside today. We came back out on a different day. We grabbed our 16 inch Pickett Mills Armory AR that we are reviewing, that has a 1-to-6 primary arms on it. 3.691 inches was about the best group that I shot. This one was a little better, and then for some reason we had a flyer there. Not sure why. This was probably like the 7th or 8th group that was shot in fairly short succession. The barrel on that gun is, I think, a more lightweight profile than medium, so maybe there's a little bit of heat involved there. But, 3.6 MOA and 100 yards, with a 1-to-6 LVPO, I'm not going to complain about that. Maybe you will, but that's what you get for standard plinking ammunition. Well, folks, depending on which chronograph you believe today, either the Pro Chrono Pal Digital DLX or the Garmin 0C1, we met our velocity spec for M193. Out of the 200 and so rounds that we ran, we didn't have any flattened primers, pierced primers, cracked necks, neck separations, head separations. Everything was good to go. This particular round is not sealed, so in the true nature of being M193 spec, it doesn't meet that certain specification. As far as accuracy goes, generally with our 55 grain full metal jacket, once we start cranking the velocity up, the accuracy tends to degrade, at least with my skill set and the firearms that I am using. There are certainly a lot more capable people out there than me. I like that it is packaged in 50 round boxes. There's no frills to it. It's annealed and it should be good to go. With all that being said, it's time for me to get the heck out of here. But at the end of all my videos, I take a moment to thank all those who help make these possible, because there's a lot that goes into them. Number one is my family. Deacon came out here to do some shooting with me today, and he sure does enjoy that. Number two is my Patreon, Subscribe Star, and YouTube channel memberships. I have a little campsite link in the description below. Effectively, it's a landing page for various different vendors. In this case, there will be one for True Shot in there, so that if you are looking to make a purchase of this and you want to give back to the channel so that I can buy different guns and things going down the road, that affiliate link directly benefits me. Number three is True Shot. Again, in full transparency, send us over that GGG M193 to review with no strings attached. And of course, number four is you all for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you at the range.